Get back in here. I'm getting ready to caulk the bottom of the tub. I've already cleaned the edge off. I scraped off the edge. If you haven't been watching this segment of videos, I'm just reviewing what I've done. Cleaned that, scraped it, sprayed some simple green on there, cleaned everything, let it dry, and now I'm ready to caulk. And because this is almond tile and this is an almond tub, I'm using almond caulking. And you can get that at the store. This is what I'm using, Dynaflex 230 from DAP, and it's almond. And you don't have to use this one. They've got some other ones. They've only got one or two brands of caulking that I've seen that have an off-white like this. And I've got my tip fairly small tip, not too big. You don't want to goober it all over the place, okay? All right. And when I put it on, I kind of go back and forth like this, and that keeps my bead smaller. I don't want to just try to put one thin layer all the way because it just never works, you know. And because I'm right here, I'm going to go this way. I'm just putting it on where I need it by rubbing it back and forth, see, like that. And I'm going to go ahead and do this whole section from end to end. I don't want to get a really big fat bead here. No need. Got constant pressure on my handle. Okay, clean my tip off. Now as it builds up on my finger, I'm going to wipe that off. See, if I just keep going and going and going, pretty soon it gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and it gets higher up on your tile, further width on your tub, and then that's not what you want, okay? I mean, we want some, so I'm not trying to take all of it off, but I'm trying to keep my finger at the same angle the entire way, and I'm keeping more pressure down on the bottom edge of my finger and letting the top ride, so to speak. Okay. Trying to keep my finger pushed in. I'm going to take the bottom of my finger, push it in tight. I try to keep it the same amount of pressure so that my bead is nice and straight, okay? There. I'm liking that. It looks like I need just a hair. The inside corners are sometimes kind of tricky because you're wanting to wrap it around the corner. You know, let's just do a little bit so I can get out of the corner. And then I have to kind of roll my finger around. And you see all the buildup here? I want to get that off of there, and I wipe it on my skin. I don't get a rag or anything and wipe it on my rag. There. I'm liking that. Okay. I'm I'm not gonna take a sponge. Some people take a wet sponge and wipe on there. Well, now you're gonna depress the angle that you've got nicely on there now. You know? So I'm not gonna do that. Okay. I'm just gonna back and forth, back and forth. Go over this way a little bit further. I'm pretty sure you can see this all the way to the soap dispenser, the soap holder, soap tray. Okay. Depress that a couple times. Okay, the key, keep your finger pretty clean and wipe some of it off as you go. Try not to get too much on there at any one go, see? That's why I take off the excess. If I didn't take that excess off, it would just get all over on the tub further. I'm trying to keep the angle the same all the way through there, okay? Now what I could do is take my finger and have it wet after I have it on. If I feel any little discrepancies, so to speak, I can kind of feel them, okay? And that takes off any excess off the top of the tub. And I'm just putting it on my sponge. Okay, that feels a lot better. I've got to do that over here. Okay, wipe that. And it feels pretty good. Wiping it off. There's a little bit there. You only get one chance to do this. You might as well get it nice and clean. Okay, my sponge is getting lots of stuff on there, so now I'm cleaning off my sponge with my bucket of water. Okay, now I can kind of do that a little bit more. Okay, I'm liking that now. Okay, this feels all nice and smooth. There's one little spot right there, but I do it as best as I can, like that. And then the next day, you can come back, and if you really want to do a good number on it, come back a day or two later with your Brillo pad area. You can do some feeling. You can take your Brillo pad, maybe 4 or 5 days later. You want the caulking to be cured. You don't want to be digging into it. Then you can take this and wipe off any excess, because as I feel on here, I can feel there's just a little excess right here, and then I can feel it up on the top of the tile a little bit. You want to get a nice 100% job. Wait a few days, come back and clean over the top of it with your scouring type, and then rinse everything, wipe it all down. You'll be glad you did that, because it'll just be one extra little bit that you've done, and you know that you got the job 100% taken care of. Okay, now I'm gonna go a little bit more here. I'll just keep the camera on a little. I'm gonna go a little further this way, however far I can before I turn and come back the other direction. See all the caulking on my hands. That's just how I do it. I'm trying to keep the tip at the same angle. So see, I go further, now I have to come come back this way because I don't want to just put it on straight. You know, like if I'm right here and the tip is this way and I think, oh, I'll just kind of put it on funky at an angle, then you don't get a nice bead on there, okay? I'll get my finger just slightly damp, not very much, okay? Now, same thing right here. I'm at the same angle as before. Wipe that off. Try to keep the angle nice and tight. See, I'm keeping it tight because I don't want it to come out underneath my finger and spooge all over on the tub. Okay? Got a little bit more there. Now I've got my wet sponge, my finger, and I can see how much more I can, and I'm still holding my finger at the same angle. Because you want some caulking on there. You don't want to put it on and then dig your finger in there as tight as you can and wipe all your caulking off. That's why I've got this at an angle and keeping this pushed in, because I'm still allowing X amount of caulking to stay on there. You see what I'm saying? Okay. I'll finish that tub from the other side.